today we have RELL Seas sneak peeks you've probably never seen before, part 4. And for the first sneak that I found, we have a showcase of a ton of weapon M1 attacks. So let me play that sneak peek for you guys right now. I'm not sure if you caught on to this, but in that clip, you could see that all the weapons each have their own individual pullout speeds and attack speeds. This is actually critical news for you to take into consideration, because that means you can't just go into RELL Seas not knowing which type of weapon you will want to main. If you're a slower and more calculated player, then go for weapons like the battle axe or the iron mace. On the other hand, if you're more of an aggressive and fast-paced player, go for weapons like the dual knife or the one-handed cutlass. And finally, if you're a mix of the two and can't really label yourself as fast or passive, then I recommend getting a medium speed weapon like the sword or the pipe. But all that aside, there was something in that video that probably a lot of you missed. And not only is it extremely creative, but it will also change the game significantly from what we all expected out of RELL Seas. I say this because it turns out some guns will also have M1 attacks just like swords, as you can see in this short clip here. Now the reason I say this is a game changer is because most people are thinking of maining either a devil fruit or hockey in RELL Seas, but the developers of this game are trying to make it so that guns are also one of the main threats in the game. So not only can guns shoot at far ranges in the game, but if you get up close to a gun user, they might also be able to use sword animation like attacks on you as well. This gets rid of a major weakness that guns had previously and will hopefully get a lot more people using guns as their main weapon to diversify the players in the game. And since we are on the topic of combat, the next sneak peek is a must-see video of the Love Fruits finisher animation cutscene. So take a look at this, you guys. And although they have not yet added all the visual effects for the sneak peek, it's still obvious that we are going to be eating good in RELL Seas. And I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but the one who's actually making all of these animations is majority one of the developers named RELL Seas. And considering the fact that everything he's made has been so beautiful so far, we are in good hands when it comes to the visuals of this game. And because I was able to find the developer who made the cutscene, I ended up stumbling upon the Quake fruit finisher animation as well. So take a look at this crazy cutscene next, guys. All you devil fruit mains are being blessed by these developers, considering almost every animation cutscene we've seen so far has been with the devil fruit. But for all of you who still want to see those type of cool cutscenes while being a weapon main or gun main, turns out I was able to find a sword finisher animation as well. So take a look at this. And obviously by the time this sneak was posted, the sword didn't have all of the visual effects added on it yet, so expect it to look way more flashy when you use it in game. Also, with the addition of all these animation sneak peeks, it raises the question of how on earth this game is going to run on less powerful devices like tablets or phones. And yes, I know the RELL Bros have stated multiple times that it will run just fine on any device, but I slightly find that hard to believe. But I guess we just gotta wait to see what happens when the game drops. But anyways, moving on, the next sneak peek I have lined up for you guys is this tweet from RELL Seas that stated, "No fruit will ever conquer this world. Hockey is the true ruler of the seas." Then it had this image attached to it. And I know they've stated before that hockey will be very strong in game, but now we have confirmation that it will be actually stronger than devil fruits themselves, and you'll need strong hockey to succeed in PvP. This is game-changing news for a lot of you guys, especially for the people that have already decided that they will be a fruit main when the game drops, because now it's clear that you won't be able to just rely on your devil fruit to get you through all the challenges in this game. After this tweet, we now know that you need to put just as much effort into leveling up your hockey as you do your fruit. And I'm not even complaining about this feature, because just look at this image, bro. It's beautiful. Why wouldn't I want that? But the next sneak peek is way more insane in my opinion, because we finally have some visuals of what the Sea Kings will look like when we see it underwater. First, I want you to look at the model of the leaked Sea King, and as you can see, it's massive. We can expect the Sea King to have loads of health and will definitely be very difficult to take down, especially when you're underwater. Also, props to the RELL Games team for making this thing so beautiful and detailed. And when it's underwater, it looks 10 times more menacing, so here's the sneak peek of that. Also, you guys are probably wondering how on earth we are supposed to do damage to a Sea King when we are already underwater. And now, there's two possible ways that this can be done. For one, we will be able to actually leave the submarine underwater as long as you are wearing the underwater suit that I'll prop up here. This method though will be super unsafe since you'll be in the water with the Sea King, and you'll probably just end up dying anyway. And for the second method, you will actually be able to shoot Sea Kings with your submarine. And you're probably wondering how I figured that out. But after doing some digging, I found one of the RELL Games model designer Twitter accounts, and he posted a full breakdown blueprint of the entire submarine. And if you look at this picture on the bottom right, you can see that the top of the submarine actually has missiles that you will be able to fire at Sea Kings. And this makes total sense because considering how massive these creatures are, there's no way a few attacks from a devil fruit is going to be enough to take it down. And it's not just the missiles that the submarine has, but also a built-in minigun attached to the lower front. This will probably be the main weapon on the submarine because as you can see, the missiles only have 6 ammunition total, while on the other hand, the minigun has a total of 500 as seen on the side view of the blueprint. The next part of the submarine blueprint that caught my eye was the interior. If you look up here, there's a fully decked out kitchen, storage space, and dining table. And I love this concept so much because it makes the boats feel that much more interactive. Because for example, games like Blox Fruits have this as their biggest ship. And if you don't know what a ship is in real life, that's very small if you ask me. But in RELL Seas, we have this massive submarine that allows us to attack Sea Kings, make food, and sit down and eat with our crewmates. And since we're on the topic of eating, the next sneak peek that I found was this picture of a RELL Seas character eating a watermelon. And now there's not much to be said about this, but I just thought I'd throw it in here. And the next sneak peek that I found was really recent, but I haven't heard a single soul talking about it. And it was this tweet from RELL Seas that states, "Brown cow makes chocolate milk," attached with this image of this cow. And so according to this tweet, there will be brown cows roaming the world of RELL Seas, and we will be able to either kill or squeeze them for chocolate milk. And based on my predictions, chocolate milk will obviously be used for decreasing your hunger bar, but I doubt they would add a cow only for the purpose of a simple drink, so we will also probably be able to use chocolate milk in the crafting of potions and in different food recipes as well. And for this next sneak peek, we have a picture of some characters on this stone wall, and most people would see this and not think anything of it, but the RELL brothers were clearly trying to showcase all the different types of poses in the game. If you look closely, you'll be able to see that each and every character in this image is in a different pose, which is a super unique feature in this game because it means that whatever build you have in game, depending on the devil fruit, weapon, fighting style, etc., adds your own personal way of standing. This way it adds even more differentiation to players in RELL Seas instead of everyone just being in the same old boring pose. So if we zoom into this guy, we see that one of the weapons we will be able to use will be an axe hand prosthetic, which is modeled after this guy from the One Piece anime. And when you have this weapon, your standing style will look like this. And the next character is this sword user who is standing like this. Then we have the light fruit user who stands like this, and then we have the bison devil fruit, which makes you stand like this, and the character with no weapons stands like this. And this final character is actually very interesting because not only do we get to see a sneak peek into how the flight is going to be in game, but we also get from this picture that you'll be able to simply float around using your devil fruit flight rather than constantly having to be in motion. What I mean by this is that in games like Blox Fruits or King Legacy, the second you enter your flight, it forces you to keep moving in a direction, so staying stationary in the air is basically impossible. But now in RELL Seas, it looks like you can just chill in the air without moving, which honestly just makes so much more sense than forcefully having you move around constantly. Also, it just looks really cool. And moving on, we have this tweet that RELL Sin posted of his character looking at a map in the game. And sadly, we can't quite see exactly what's on this map, but we can make a few speculations. Either the map is something that you can pull out to see where you are in the RELL Seas world and you'll have to unlock areas on the page as you travel through your journey, or we will have treasure maps that you can get from either NPCs, chests, or fishing that leads you to hidden pirate treasure. And it's also possible that we could get both, so hopefully that's the case, but I can at least tell you that for sure it's definitely one of those two options. And the final sneak peek that I have for you guys in this video is a picture of RELL Heavens with a size comparison of an in-game character. And now if you didn't know, RELL Heavens is a part of the map that will be located in the skies of RELL Seas, and we will get up there by using these flying boats that I showed you in another one of my videos. Basically, by looking at the size comparison of the entrance to RELL Heavens and our character, you can already tell that this location is going to have a whole bunch of content like wild animals, bosses, possible sky island cities full of NPCs roaming the area, and much more. And that's all I have for you today, but if you missed any of the other parts, I highly recommend you going out and checking them, and tap on that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with everything RELL Seas.